going off on cars. I think it sounds pretty good, but I think that all we should just talk about, I don't know. I was like, we just have to talk about how we're gonna do this, or do we just go right into it? That's what I
Didn't you have
hoped I
didn't
wouldn't
you have
say.
didn't you have a format? Or
Um,
no?
no, but I have some notes, I think from like several weeks ago. So it's old news, but some of it is random shit.
Let's go off the random stuff. Let's go random. Let's go random like crazy.
Okay, did you see the Model 3 Highlander?
No, what the hell is that?
Then they refreshed the Model 3.
Oh yeah, so I heard it's out already, right?
Yeah, you can order
But
it.
why is it called the Highlander?
I think that was the code name for it
Oh, okay.
when it was a
Isn't it a,
secret.
isn't it an old science fiction movie? It is,
Um,
right?
Let me
I think
see.
there's some relation. There has to be some relation to that.
Probably. Yeah, it says
Highlander, like two guys.
1986
Yeah,
fantasy
the two
action
guys that
fantasy.
fight swords. Clancy Brown. I forget the guy who plays Raiden from Mortal Kombat. He's the main protagonist. Yeah, pretty good movie. Awful special effects, but good movie. Other than that,
Yeah, I've never seen it. It looks
you know Musk.
uh,
You know how he has kind of like
yeah, this
that
is
80s
totally his
nostalgia.
flavor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally his flavor. There's a connection there for sure.
I didn't realize that.
Um,
That's funny.
so what did they change about the car? Because I've heard some stuff. I've heard the interior is pretty much left unchanged.
The
Am I right
interior?
about that? Yeah.
Oh no, they changed it. They like made it kind of like a little bit like the new Cybertruck. Like they added an LED strip that you can
Okay.
customize the light, and they removed
Oh,
the stalks, you know, the
what do you
steering wheel
mean, like the?
stalks. So like no
Oh,
turn signal. It's like
oh,
in it's a button, you know. They're like buttons on the steering wheel, and then to
is
change
that
the
really like?
transmission
I,
is on the screen.
yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, everything's going to screens. Everything's moving away from buttons and levers, but you're just kind of reinventing the wheel at that point. Like, are you really making it easier?
Yeah, I'm not
Especially
crazy
something like
about
a
that.
turn. Yeah, I mean, I can see why in a turn signal a button might be easier, maybe. But transmission,
I
I don't
think
know
they
about that
really
one.
just trying to save costs, like to not have
Oh,
to
I
buy
could.
the little plastic thing or make the little plastic thing. Put it
And
on the
there
screen.
goes that's my problem with Tesla. And I said this
Yeah.
to my brother. I've you know that screen that they have in the middle of the car, this huge giant screen that just protrudes out of the car, right? That that's cost saving, right? There's a little bit of a savings to just smacking a screen there, tying it in, than having to build a dashboard around it and make sure it finishes flush along the lines. It's slower to manufacture, right? If you have to have it fit perfectly somewhere, you know what I mean? Because there can be a lot of variables that can make that not fit properly. And second, if you just yeah, it's saving costs and manufacture speed is basically what I'm trying to say. So that's it. Really bothers me that they do this.
It
I wish
bothers
they
me a
just
little
cared
bit
more.
too.
Yeah, yeah. I just wish they cared more about the detail than about the bottom line. You know what I mean? Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine Ferrari doing something like this? They would never. They'll just make their cars more expensive. And I appreciate what Tesla's trying to do in sort of like creating a people's car, but you know, and the Model 3 is supposed to be that entry level car for them. I just hope this doesn't like spill over to the Model S or to the Model X or to the other car that they're
They
building,
already do that.
Cybertruck.
That's the thing. Cybertruck is already like that. Model X and
Yeah,
Model S already like that.
yeah. Then like, that's is this what
It's a
I don't know.
swipe. Like the drivetrain is a swipe on the screen to
Yeah.
change it. And I think it tries to do it automatically. Like, so I think the camera, it has a little program and it's like, oh, he's gonna reverse out of this spot. So it puts it in reverse automatically for you in certain situations.
Boy, so the computer is basically guessing. It's using algorithms to figure out
Yeah.
when you're gonna back out,
Yeah.
when you're gonna go forward. I just imagine Austin Powers. Remember that scene with his little golf cart, back and forth, back and forth,
Yeah,
back and forth.
yeah.
You know, like sometimes you gotta get in those situations. How is everybody gonna know that? But
But they did some other cool stuff to the car. Can I list those things?
yeah,
And because
yeah,
that was
yeah.
kind of the bad thing, but they added ventilated seats, a rear
About time.
display. They made it quieter, and
Cool.
I think that's about all I know. And I think it's like more efficient, so it gets more range
Wow.
with
Wow.
the
Do you know the
same
range on that,
battery,
or that
you know?
hasn't been announced?
Oh
Or
yeah,
like
it's
it's like
all
a
been
small
announced.
increase. What's the range? Like it's a
Oh yeah,
350.
it says 341 for the all-wheel drive dual motor. Let me see the rest. Hold on.
You know what? That I think that EPA that I sent you earlier on the Model 3, I think that might have been the new one. Might have been. I think it was a
Oh,
23 or
maybe.
24. So if it's a 24, I think it was, yeah. And it has something like about 352 miles of range, if I remember it correctly. Um, and so yeah, that might be it. Which is, man, that's awesome. Let's be honest. My question, because I've heard there's like a difference in batteries between some of these Model 3s, right? There's some batteries that you can just constantly charge to 100%. And there's some batteries you're supposed to charge only up to 80%. Which one of these batteries does it have? Is it the lithium ion, which I think it's only the 80, or is these the other one, which I'm not sure the name of the technology right now. It's escaped me, but the one that you can constantly charge to 100%.
I don't know what these are called, and I think like I wish I knew this. I don't know, and I'm on their website, and it kind of like it doesn't really tell you. It's hard to even find like the size of the battery for each one. Like it
Yeah,
just tells
the
you,
kilowatts.
yeah, it just tells you like long range and base, you know. So I can't
Yeah.
find it, but I don't think I heard that they're not using that. That they like, I think maybe the Cybertruck has it, and they kind of like saved it all for that. So they had it on some Model Ys last year, but they're like all gone, you know. They like
What
used
what
it
what
for a certain batch and then they saved the
what are you talking
rest.
about? The 100% batteries?
Yeah, the battery that doesn't
Oh.
matter. Yeah.
But I think that battery, what I heard from someone who owns it, is that when you use that battery, you lose somewhat performance, vehicle performance, right? So your 0 to 60 times your top speed is going to suffer. And that's why the higher end models don't use it. So I'm not sure. We have to look into that with the research that one.
Since you said that, I'm looking at the website and the rear wheel drive Model Y right now, they have that as an offering, which is like not they don't always have that. But that
Yeah,
one might have it because it has a really slow 0 to 60, 6.6. So the
that
the
sounds about
current
right.
they probably have it right now on the base Y.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap. It says it's 40, the purchase price is 43,990 for that one.
Damn. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what else? What else did they add? Did you have anything else?
No, for that high, they just like changed the front headlight a little bit on the outside. They one thing I don't like, another thing I don't like is they removed like the fog lights on it. So it's just like this plain, you know,
Yeah.
looks
Did
a little
they
more
um
clean, but it's still
Did they
cool.
change the car's dimensions at all? Like, did they make it longer, a little bit longer, a little bit bigger?
I don't think so. No.
Because that's a complaint I have about the Model 3, right? The Model 3 is a luxury, like a small sedan luxury car. It competes with what? BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, um, what other cars? The Alfa Romeo Giulia. You know what I mean? The cars in this type of segment. And I think its overall wheelbase. I don't have the exact numbers, but we'll put it there on the bottom of the video link. But it's shorter in length than these cars, and cars have been getting bigger. They kind of been growing in size. So, it was a little bit disappointing. Again, obviously, it's to save metal, to save costs on the car, but I just wish it was more competitive with these BMWs, like especially the BMW electric, right? The i4 that's becoming a very, very good car. I mean, it's becoming a really good option. I know right now it's a lot more expensive than in Model 3, and Model 3's done a good job at keeping the price down. But if you're looking at, I mean, how much is the 350 range? Oh, there you go. How much is the 350 range Model 3 starting off at about 45, 46?
I can look it up
The
right
all-wheel
now.
drive?
I got it right here. The starting one you said, like
Yeah.
the rear wheel drive, it's
No, 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 not the starting one, the all-wheel drive one. Long range.
long range is
Yeah.
45,990.
45,990. So I'm pretty sure that's under what a BMW i4 starts off at, which is I'm guessing is going to be in the low 50s, right? Um, so yeah, I mean you're getting a little bit more value, but I mean the BMWs, they're bigger cars, right? You're getting, you know,
Probably
at
quieter.
the quieter. The Model 3 would be at that same length. You'll be getting you know what? The Model 3 was at the same length as the BMW. You'll be able to have space to put a spare tire. How about that? You know, to have a bigger frunk. You know what I mean? Maybe some more seating, like a longer, bigger seating area. Things like
I wonder
that
if
that
the
you can do
i4
that
has it. Do the BMW electric cars have
a frunk.
spare tires and stuff?
Not sure, not sure, but I will tell you that I'm not even sure if it has a frunk. To be honest with you, the i4. I do know someone that has it. I can take a look at it, but I do know that like I know the Volkswagen the ID4, that one it doesn't have a frunk, for example. So these German cars they may not have frunks. Um, I'm not sure if they have spares or not, but it's something we'll look into. I would say on the new Model 3, I did hear that the performance version is going to be more like a true performance vehicle. It's going to get aggressive tires, not sure which ones yet, but it's going to have the aggressive tires, aggressive brakes, rotors. Not sure if it's carbon ceramic or not, but it's going to be just more of a performance vehicle that you could really track. Um, and that's something to look into. I'm always waiting to see how Tesla's been able to manage the overheating issue of the car, and also like the consistency of a 0 to 60 time. Because there's one thing that gets like you look at electric cars and they'll post a 0 to 60 time and it'll blow your mind away,
Yeah.
but you don't realize that you only get that just that one moment. And if you're in a track, you're accelerating 0 to 60 a multitude of times, right? So that's one thing that you have to like look into. How consistent can they get their speeds throughout the course of the battery, and how can they do that without overheating? And that's one thing we have to look at with the new Model 3. Whenever they come out, has the performance version come out? I'm assuming no, right?
No, not yet. Hasn't been like
Not yet.
announced yet. I think there's a leak of some sort, but that's it.
Oh, okay. That's where I heard it then. Maybe, regarding that leak.
Yeah.
Which it will make sense. Oh, and it's gonna have plaid seats, like actual plaid seats, kind of like how the Model S has plaid.
Yeah.
Um,
They just might
but
be
yeah, I mean,
calling it something. I think I heard they might be calling it ludicrous or something like that instead of plaid. I don't know what they're gonna do because it's just been performance
yeah,
before. They just call it performance, and then plaid was reserved for the higher class
Model S.
citizens. Yeah.
Yeah, higher class citizen. That's right. But I mean, that's good news. I still think that Tesla has, and don't get me wrong, I love what Tesla has done to the, car industry. I love what they've done with the electric car. I love what they do as a company. I just feel like, they could be better as far as like, the manufacturing, the making of the car. There's lots of things that they just take shortcuts on. And for whatever reason, they had this massive fan base that's just always forgiving. And I mean, me as a consumer, I'm not, and I don't want to. I know you own a Tesla, you own multiple Teslas, right? Um, I don't think I'm not sure if I will own a Tesla. I used to like my favorite Tesla was the Model S. Right now, the way they're going with it, I don't think I will get one. I'll probably have to wait and see how it turns out. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're happy with yours, right?
I love it. I missed it. I had it gone kind of for 2 weeks, and yeah, I love it. There's stuff that pisses me off about it, but I still love it. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's one
I
of those
like a
things where
lot of
like,
cars, though, bro. I like a lot of cars. But yeah,
yeah,
I can't get enough of this car. I don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to get a new one. I just want to keep it.
Have you looked into the i4 at all, or
Not
no?
really,
Not
no.
really.
No. I'm sure
Not
I would
really, huh?
love it
Yeah, I
because it
feel
would be
like
quieter. I love BMWs, man. I kind of miss a BMW, but I'm not crazy about all the
you
new
gotta test
ones.
you gotta test one out. Test an i4 out. I'm just curious. I like to see an i4 against a Model 3, you know, because
Yeah,
they're in
that
the
would be
same
cool.
class, and to see how it is. I feel like it'll be similar to what Model S versus a Taycan, the Porsche. So it'll be like a similar kind of battle where like the Porsche is a little bit more refined, but the Model S gives you ridiculous performance. So yeah, you have to test it out. Test it out and get back to me and let me know your thoughts, man.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Yeah,
So
next
what else you
time that
got
we do
on
this,
that
I could
list?
share my screen so we could actually show some stuff, but I don't have the settings yet correct yet,
Oh, no
and I'd have
worries.
to
That's all
restart
good.
it.
That's all good.
Um,
That's all good.
911 as a family race car,
Get
Subaru
out of here.
BRZ I had as one, a car we've like never talked about.
Oh my goodness. There's a car that actually my brother brought up to me, and I thought, man, I can't believe this car came out. Right? I really want to talk to you about this car. I can't think of the name. I'm gonna hope you can research it for me. It was an Isuzu, okay? Late 90s, obviously around that time, guys. That's the last time Isuzu sold cars. Um, it looked like a rally race car, and it looked like a car from the future. It had these huge tires. Can you pull that up? Pull that up. Can't think of the name. Obviously at the rodeo. They only had a few cars they
Oh,
came
I
out with.
think I know what you're talking about. The Isuzu Vehicross, maybe is what it's
I
called.
believe that it was like a kind of a crossover, so for sure it might have been that one.
Isuzu Vehicross. I love that car, bro. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Yeah, I have it pulled up.
I haven't.
I think it is called Vehicross.
I've never. I think I can't even. I think I remember seeing them, but I mean, I used one on the streets. So I mean, what's going on? I haven't seen like in over 20 years. You know what I mean?
I've
Where has
seen
that car
one maybe
gone?
you know where I saw one last at your favorite grocery store in the planet. Um
Leave the table.
Seated table. Yeah, I saw one in that parking lot. I
Man,
think it
go
was
figure,
yellow.
man. But
And I
I mean,
was like,
what
man,
a great car, right?
yeah, dude, I've always seen those. Even since I was a little kid, I would appreciate it when I was like, that's cool. I was like, it's like a sports car lifted 4x4 thing. It's so cool. It's so weird.
I
It must be
know,
really
I
fun.
know. Because it's they were ahead of its time, right? Because I'm sure at that time people didn't buy as many SUVs as they do today, right? But that's like a Porsche Macan, basically. Subaru. What's the Subaru Crosstrek? Subaru. They're very similar cars. They're just small cars that are lifted, except this one had massive tires and it had good off-road capabilities. And I bet it came in a stick shift too. So I mean that's a pretty cool car. I wonder how many there are in the used market. It's sad that you don't see it anymore.
I wonder how many were made. But it says less than six. Okay, Isuzu produced less than 6,000 between 97 and 2001. And of those, 1,800 were sold in the United States. So they're pretty rare, man.
They're rare. Well, I'm gonna tell. Wow, we actually knew someone that owned one. So that's the crazy part about it.
Wow.
I wonder why they were so rare and like, what was the starting price on those cars? Were they that expensive? Because to make only 1,800 in the U.S. had to have a pretty high starting price. That's insane. That's insane. But yeah, great car, man. Beautiful car. I wish they would come out with something like that in
The
today's,
limited
for
production
today's
run has
market.
helped the Vehicross gain a cult-like following, it says.
Well, include me in that cult. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I would
really,
be in that cult too, but I'm not
yeah.
hardcore enough to own one. It's crazy.
No, no. I mean, I'm sure they're hard to get and they'll be expensive,
They've
but
got to be
it's
expensive now. I wonder if if you could find one is if one's for sale somewhere right now. Yeah, there
Yeah, I
are.
mean, you're the best at that. There are.
Yeah.
Are they crazy expensive?
No, not as much as I thought. Like there's two on Car Gurus. One is 17,995 and the other one is 8,500.
That's not bad.
One's in California, the other one's in Austin, Texas. We could go over there and pick it up.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. That's a thought,
Wow, it's
man.
actually
That's a
pretty
thought.
cool for 8,500 bucks. It's pretty sweet.
It's a pretty sweet
It's a
ride.
little bit beat up.
Yeah. Give us some love, right?
Yeah, like it needs new seat cloth or something, it's like cracked
Yeah.
leather.
And I think that's just that would be like a really cool
That
car to tune, right? Because it's like how people modify Jeep Wranglers to go off road. Like I can just see someone just heavily modifying one of those, to be
Yeah,
like an
dude.
off-road monster, or like almost like a
Wow.
bigger dune buggy,
This is a good find, dude. I'm gonna keep this. So if we put this video up, I'll put the link in the description so someone can buy it. It has 180,000 miles, but I don't know, man. You could if
Woo.
it's a
Yeah, I mean,
V6.
I don't.
It's a 3.5 liter V6. It's like a massive V6.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, and what transmission does it come with? Is it showing the photos
I
if
think
it's like a
it just
manual
says 4-speed automatic
four-speed automatic? Yeah,
with
I'm sure
four-wheel
they came
drive.
in stick. I mean, my brother used to have a rodeo in a five-speed.
It was a five
Five-speed
speed?
manual transmission. It was a five-speed manual, yeah. It was a wow. Talk about a tough car to learn how to drive stick shift.
Yeah.
Big, clunky five-speed manual transmission. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh
miss
man, I
Isuzu. I
wish
wish I wish they still make cars. I wish they still make cars in the United States. It's not, and they're still doing commercial trucks and everything, but I wish they're still making, cars for the everyday person.
me too. The cool ones like this. I
Like
do like
that,
this
yeah.
one kind of remind that like something kind of that there exists like this sorta the Hyundai Santa the little truck the Hyundai truck.
Oh, the Santa Cruz,
Yeah, Santa
right? Was it
Cruz.
Santa Cruz? Is it the Santa Cruz? I think it is.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. I just verified
the
it.
Santa. Yeah, yeah, Santa Cruz. I mean, the car pickup that's kind of come back, right? I've been a big fan. This of the Subaru Baja, which is
Yeah.
a similar car to the Isuzu we were just talking about, right? The VE Cross, where like you don't see a lot of them. That one you do see more on the streets still today. But that car pickup, um, I think it's very popular in Australia. I know Ford makes one, the Oot, right? Which is actually like a sports car pickup truck, which is, I mean, they're crazy, silly ideas, right? But it's just one of those things where I'm just surprised in today's market, it hasn't, I don't know, it hasn't gotten more popular. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a fan of the Santa Cruz. I like it. What's another one? Not so much the Honda Ridgeline, not for me.
I like the Ridgeline, but I understand that that it's like
See, I
kind
liked
of
the
sucks, but
previous generation Ridgeline, not the one that's in the market today.
I think I like
I just
the one they have. I mean, the one previous was awesome. But the one right now I like a lot too. But yeah, the one that we saw together at the car show with the when and the tailgate was like new. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah, with the tailgate. That's the one that's out today. So you have that one. You have the Santa Cruz. What other like car pickup do you think that exists in the market today?
I can't think of
I
any.
feel like we're missing one. I can't. I think we're missing. I feel like we're missing one. No? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I can't think of any other ones. Um, what about the BRZ, the Subaru BRZ? Do you have any thoughts on that sucker?
Subaru BRZ. It shares a chassis with the Toyota 86.
Yeah,
Is it Toyota 86? I believe the Toyota 86 is still offered, right? It's still out there. Um, they're great cars. Like it's just that I feel like in the 90s, a lot of people like those type of cars, right? That's why the Mazda Miata was so popular. I still feel like the Mazda sells more than those two other cars, the 86 and the BRZ. But they're
what would you
similar
rather
cars in
have,
the sense.
a BRZ or a Miata?
Um, it's hard to say. I guess in the MX-5 you get you have the added benefit of it being a convertible as well,
Yeah, I would love
right?
the convertible, and it's like
Which you
hand
don't get
powered.
that. Yeah, you don't get that with the so the 86 or the
But you know what
BRZ.
you do get with the
Um,
BRZ though? You get back seats.
what- I didn't know that.
I
I
didn't know
didn't
that
know that.
either until like
Yeah,
3 weeks ago, and that's why I wrote it down on this.
yeah. That being the case, then I have to go with the BRZ. You
Isn't it
know,
cool? You could
probably.
literally be a dad and have it as a like a race car, you know?
You know that okay, well, give me 1 second. Sorry.
It looks funny because the cafe setup. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you before.
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. Okay, so yeah. Where did we leave off?
We were
Um,
talking about the BRZ still, I think.
the BRZ.
Yeah,
So the BRZ and the Toyota 86. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people don't know this, right? There are rear-wheel drive cars, and they
yeah,
are the most affordable rear-wheel drive cars on the market today. They achieve this just by being freakishly small. Probably they're not convertible, so they're a little bit cheaper to make than the Mazda MX-5, right? I'm not exactly sure where the Mazda MX-5 starts off at, but I'm almost certain these cars come in underneath that in price. So they're great cars. I'm sure they're really fun cars to drive. Love the idea that it's practical. It has back seats, but there's something about just like for me as an adult and getting one of those cars, those car that car kind of reminds me of was a really cool old classic car, the Pontiac Fiero.
oh
Remember that
yeah.
car?
Wasn't
Super
that
cool
like a
car.
mid-engine car?
It was a mid-engine car. Yeah, that's the difference. You're right. I believe it was mid-engine versus these cars are front engines. But yeah, it's a cool car for a dad that wants to track or wants a little track toy and
Yeah,
can't afford. But you know what? At that price point, wouldn't you rather just go with a base Mustang?
man.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know. Yeah, because a base Mustang
you
is
know,
fast, but it's not as fun to drive as a BRZ. I would argue to race,
probably not.
to turn.
Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. But just a much better car overall, just a more practical, respectable car on the road. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just my point of view. It's a car I just can't take serious, and that's the problem with the BRZ and the 86. I can't take them serious.
Yeah, I I do take them seriously. I really do. I like them. I think they would
You
be
like them?
really, yeah, because a small car is just funner. It's lighter, it's funner. Like, I wonder, it'd be fun to just talk about the weight difference, I guess. Like, what does a Mustang weigh? I don't know, but it's got to be lighter.
Oh, a Mustang. I tell you what, a base Mustang is easily
Yeah,
pushing.
dude, it's so much
Curb
heavier.
weight is 3,700 pounds minimum. I
Yep.
know a
It
V8
says,
Mustang GT is about 3,900 to 4,000 pounds. So a
and
base Mustang
A
won't
BRZ
be
is
will be a little bit lighter.
guess how much the BRZ weighs?
3,200.
2,800. 28, like almost 20, like 2,820 to 2883. 28,883.
Yeah, that's 1,000 pounds less, man. That's a
It's so
big
that
difference.
makes it a lot more fun in my like I know it because I've driven like a Mini Cooper before and it was one of the funnest test drives I've ever had. And I'm like, that is a
Yeah, I know.
dorky ass car, you know, and you don't take it seriously, but then you drive it and you're like, holy shit, this is fun, you know?
Yeah, the same thing with me. I drove a one of the few times I've been able to drive a car on the track, and it was a 2 Series BMW, the
Oh
base two
man, I
series,
wish.
like the first generation model. And I've driven multiple BMWs, right? So it was a 2 Series. BMW has this thing where you can take their car on autocross, and drive it hard. It was a 2 Series. I've done 2 Series, 3 Series, and the 4 Series. And the 2 Series was just a whole other level of fun. It was the best experience, Where the other ones, they're just bigger cars. The only downside to the 3 Series I drove that it was diesel, so that really took a lot of the fun out of it. That's kind of when I started hating diesel engines. But yeah, that 2 Series was so much fun. Like even when you mess up and you're not a good driver, messing up is fun. It's one of those cool cars. I really, really had a good time with it.
Oh my
So,
God,
I
dude.
mean,
I just looked up the Mazda weight. Guess that one.
I gotta say 2,900 around the same.
It's
No?
2,400.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And let me
Which you
look
can
up
see
just
why
the
it's
Mini Cooper just for fun. Mini Cooper weight. Mini Cooper maybe I gotta specify because there's so many of those things. 2,500 for a Mini Cooper.
wow, it's pretty good. Look up for me the Toyota Supra.
Toyota Supra.
Yeah. Any size engine. Curious to
So
know
that one
the weight.
is 3,100 to 3,400. And it's
Okay, so
actually like
it's
almost 3,200. It's 3,181.
yeah, so 32 around say 3,200 pounds,
Yeah.
right? For the four cylinder, I think version, and then probably 3,400 for the six cylinder, I'm guessing.
And
Man,
the 2 Series, by the way, since you drove it, if it was a coupe, it was probably like 3,200 pounds at the lightest because it says those are the BMW 2 is 32 to 3,700 pounds.
look that so that's to me is like the sweet spot. Like I've never driven a car low that weighed less than that because like I guess one of the more fun cars I've driven was an E46 BMW M3. That's the year around 2005. And those cars are around that weight, 3,300, 3,400, right? No heavier than that. So to me, that's like the sweet spot of like, size. When you have power, you're gonna have a fun experience. I could be wrong. Maybe you go lighter with an MX-5 and you have fun. I know a lot of people track those cars, but it's just
I was looking up the weight of the Volkswagen, the Sport Wagon TDI is 3,200 pounds.
so this. Okay, the
Because
Supra. Going back
that
to the
is a
Supra.
fun weight. The Supra, what? Sorry.
Going back to the Supra. Going back to the Supra. That car, I feel like I would have liked it more had they made it a little bit bigger. And I'm not crazy about the design. It's not horrendous. It's not a beautiful car, but there's something cool about it, right? In some angles. But I really wish they would have added seats in the back of that Supra and made it a little bit bigger, make it more like a Toyota M3, you know? And that would have been in a car just the best car in the market today. I feel like they kind of Toyotas missed the big one because back in the day when the first Super came out, I think it was a two seater, but it looked like a 2+2,
I
and
think it was
that car
a plus two. I'm looking it up
it
right
wasn't
now. It had back
okay.
seats,
It had back seats. That's what I
tiny
thought.
back
So
seats.
why take it out? At least leave it a 2+2, if not a
Yeah.
full two seater. I mean a full four seater, right? But that's a car where you used to see it in the market a lot in the early 90s. You see it every now and then. I feel like this new Supra, it hasn't sold as well. And
I'm not
part of the
crazy
reason is
about
probably
it.
because of
I think
you're
it's
not crazy
cool.
about it.
I think it's super cool, but like I would never really consider it, you know? I've never like been like,
No,
man, I want that. You know what I mean? Like, but I like it. I guess every time I see it, I get like it just feels like a really young person's car, you know? I don't feel young
but
enough
it
to have it.
because same thing for the Subaru BRZ though.
The
I look at that
BRZ,
and I'm like,
I guess because it's $30,000, I put that shit aside, you know, because it's so cheap. I'm like, I don't care because
yeah.
it's like
At
affordable.
that point, you're like it's a track toy. It's a
Yeah,
toy.
yeah.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying. Kind of, it achieves
A
some
Supra
level
is
of.
expensive and it looks like you're 17 and you spent like 60 grand or whatever it is on it, you know?
See, that's unfortunate. I wish the Toyota would have made something because you wouldn't say that about an M4 or an M3. You wouldn't say, you know what I mean? So I wish they would have made something that's like, I guess, more adult oriented. I don't find it that way. I don't see it that way. That's a 17-year-old car. I can agree with you though, because of the fact that it's so small that, a man in their 30s and 40s wouldn't get a car that small typically because they have a family, but yeah,
Yeah, it's like
unless,
small, very flashy.
yeah.
You
Of
know what
course, I
car
know
I
I'm
like this? That's like less flashy, just the Z, the Nissan Z, the new
oh,
one and the old ones. The old ones as an affordable, really fun ass car.
I mean the 350 or the
Yeah,
three or
350Z,
yeah,
a used
yeah, because
350Z
I loved the 300ZX. I mean, to me, that's like
from
one
when
of the
we
best.
were little.
Yeah, from the early 90s.
Yeah, those are cool too. The new
I
one
mean,
looks like
that's
that to me, so I really like the new one for that reason. The
yeah,
brand
the new
new,
one's beautiful.
yeah, the
The new
brand new
Z
Z,
is
dude. I would love to buy
beautiful.
that. See, like that one doesn't seem so like a fake Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like that's what I get from the Supra. It's like it has a body kit or
Yeah.
something, like it looks crazy. And then this one is
No,
just more subtle. So I would prefer the Z as an adult, you know.
you're right. You're right. But it's because it's a much better design than the Toyota Supra. The Toyota Supra is just not a great design. It's not great.
Yeah, it's not, it's too
They
much.
they didn't keep any element of the old
The
Supra
Z
into that
is
car.
timeless, dude. It's
It's
sick. I love it.
timeless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you see it, you're confused. You're like, what it like you feel like you traveled a little bit and yet it's new. I've only seen like three of them. I don't understand why they're not selling more, or maybe they are, but I don't see them.
I just don't know why cars don't figure it out though, right? The
Oh,
best
dude, we only
cars that
got
people
a minute left before the recording goes off because I don't have like the upgraded Zoom. So we're
that's
limited to
fine.
40
That's
minutes.
fine. That's fine. I have to get going anyways. But like I don't understand why cars don't just keep a timeless look, right? Why change so consistently? Bothers me that BMW always makes just these drastic car designs, car
Me too.
differences, model after model, right? The Mustang has done it that way. The Z is doing it now, right? They somewhat did it a little bit, but they're doing it now. 911, come on, like these cars, they know what they're doing. Just subtle changes. If it works, stick with it. And that's all I have to say. Any closing comments for you, Mr. Pino?
No, that's it. Thank you for watching. Whoever the hell is watching this, probably just us for now, but
Probably just us for the
this
next
was a
5 years.
pretty good
Yeah.
first episode. It's
Okay.
easy for
Yeah.
us to do this. It was fun. It's
It was
yeah.
fun. It was
No
fun.
script
I
or
promise
nothing.
next time I'll have a computer set up next time so it looks a little more professional out of my car.
Yeah, and we can get a mic for you too.
That's right.
I
All
can't
right,
wait to see
man.
how the recording looks.